Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Orthodox Banter with Boyan. I'm the Boyan in question, and I wanted to share something that's been on my mind recently, and that's whenever there's a period of Ramadan in like Muslim in Islam, in Muslim religion, we will have Christians who like to call out hypocrisy of Muslims. Oh, they have this huge big breakfast and so on, or they intentionally go there where the day is short, and so on and so forth, and then we like call out their hypocrisy, we bash them and so on. Honestly, this annoys me to no end. Because I believe that this sort of triumphalism has extremely unchristian roots and unchristian roots and intentions that only has this very thin veneer of calling out falsehood, and I'll explain why. You know that this video is serious because I have a list of arguments that hopefully this horrible practice will cease, or at least morph into something more productive. Okay. First of all, item number one: other people's fasting is none of our business. This needs to be absolutely the first rule of fasting. If somebody never fasted in their whole life, that's none of our business. If somebody fasts like all the time, that's none of our business. We are never to call out people's fasting, especially when we think it's weaker than our own. Because if we find cause for pride in our own fasting, we might as well not fast at all, because it will be to our spiritual damage, because we are puffing ourselves up. We think that we are doing something great when we are putting down a creature of God that's trying, faulty as their religion may be, to do something good for, well, God, And if they were Christian or Orthodox Christian, they would do something well, So there's not even a kernel, but a sprout of something extremely good there. So yeah, we shouldn't really call out other people's fasting, and especially this coming from us when we have such libraries of ascetical writings about fasting. We have all of these readings before Great Lent, how we are not supposed to judge other people who are not fasting, So even within Christianity, if they're like not fasting because, they don't care about it, we're not to judge them, This is essentially an expression of making a sorrowful face, except we make an angry face. Oh, I'm fasting, I can't do that. Well, look at those peoples, those hypocrites, like they have big breakfast. That's item number one. Item number two: such fasting is difficult. It is difficult not to eat something throughout the day, but it's even much more difficult not to drink anything throughout the day. Yes, you may say, oh, they have big breakfast and so on. Yes, but have you ever tried it? Have you ever tried not eating or drinking something, sunrise to sundown? It is difficult. I've actually done it as a preparation for the liturgy of the presanctified gifts, because it was served at 5 p.m. So I wasn't supposed to eat or drink anything before the liturgy. It is difficult. Yes, it gets easier over time, but it never stops being difficult. And again, people go to work, people go to gym, they work out, they have to chase children around. And at all those times, you're not supposed to have anything. It's difficult. It's difficult, when people have like these office parties, people like offer you food, drink, whatever, all of the time. Yes, it's difficult, and have some admiration for that. Again, if these people were Christian, and especially Orthodox Christian, something great would be born out of it. That's item number two. Item number three: Ramadan, the way they fast, is essentially a Christian practice. Like 99% in Islam, that don't deal directly with theology, but with practice. It's all basically Christian practice. Head coverings, not literally covering women so you can't see them, that's an excess of it, but those big prostrations, the way they fast for a month, all Christian practices throughout, fasting sunrise to sundown, all Christian practice. What you're essentially doing is calling out a Christian practice that you yourself is not following, because our own fasting is well, it's easier. Let us be honest, it's easier. You might say, well, it's difficult because I can't eat meat or cheese, and I don't. Well, yeah, but it's difficult, much more difficult in some other ways, because you can easily make really good fasting food, so there's that. Fourth item, what I like to call, the little flock argument. Christ says, do not be afraid, little flock. And I know that us Orthodox Christians like to use this argument that, truth isn't in the numbers. Just because the Catholic Church is bigger than us does not make the Roman Catholic Church the true church. Just because there are more Muslims than us doesn't mean Islam true, and so on and so forth. However, there is also this aspect of the fact that I will quote what somebody said on some Orthodox forum, and it's ever so often I think about it. Christianity is never a religion of the masses, and it is so true. And I honestly believe that this holds true for all religions. In any given religion, majority of people will do its practices for some faulty reasons. And my video, bad reasons to convert and stay Orthodox, deals with a lot of those, and they are pretty much universal. A lot of people will pray because they need something. A lot of people will fast because, well, it sort of sounds good. I want to lose a little bit of weight. Everybody else is doing it. I'm trying to purify my spirit and so on. And by the way, fasting is part of it. But it's sort of still what I do get out of it. It's still self-centered. A lot of people will, go to communion because, well, that's what people do at Easter, but they have so little understanding of how important it is that you won't see them next Sunday. And to quote St. Basil the Great, if they were giving out gold in the church, all of you would rush there to get it, but sadly the church only offers eternal life. So yeah, you will generally see the verse of the verse when it comes to every religion online, shared by adherents of other religions. Oh, look at these stupid Buddhists, Jews, Christians, what are they're doing? Well, no, this is a poor application of somebody else. There are, Muslims who do their fast right. There are Christians who do their fast right. There are Jews who do their fasts right, And that comes a very important aspect, and that is cheating God. This is what? Fifth item. Ever since the dawn of religion, people have been trying to trick God. This is tale as old as worship, like those sons of that priest Eli. They try to get the best cuts of meat for themselves. When it comes to fasting, a lot of us will gorge themselves with food, minutes before the fasting commences. I think that Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox Jews are the masters of this practice, because they will have these, Shabbat elevators, Shabbat phones. They will have. I know that on Manhattan there is this line that technically it doesn't. It turns some area into some sort of worship space where they can do things that there would be otherwise forbidden. And God isn't an idiot. You can't trick God. There is this atheist meme, and I will make a video on my main channel, Bible Illustrated, about it. That's essentially, I prayed to God for a bike and I didn't get one, so I realized how God works. So I stole a bike and prayed for forgiveness. You will receive that forgiveness just as much as you receive that bike. That is, you won't receive it because, again, God is not idiot. To quote Dennis Prager, God has common sense and he sees what you're doing. He's not an idiot. What makes you think you can trick God with with these things. A lot of people think that when it comes to this fasting, that people are like tricking God. There's always an element to the in every religion. We can always sort of measure where there's more of it, where there's less of it. But I think that it is important for us of every religion to be aware of this, because it is very, spiritually damaging, because again, you're turning God into an idiot. And the final item here is, we also do it in Orthodox Christian tradition. We have fake meats, we have fake cheeses, we have fake milks, we have all of the, and yes, you can say, well, I'm not using it. Well, a lot of people are still using them. Again, and there are two aspects to fasting. One is abstaining from, food of animal origin. And these imitation things, they're fine in that regard, because just because I eat fake meat does not mean that an animal suffered, that I'm putting into myself something that's actually from an animal. However, the other important aspect of fasting is that we are denying ourselves luxuries, and that is where these imitations fail. In Serbia, there's this joke that, like on Christmas Eve, which is a fasting day, Serbs will go out and say this little incantation before a pig. How does it go? Goody goody riba booty, which is essentially like rish rish become a fish, like two nonsensical words, and this turns a pig into a fish, which is a fast friendly thing to eat. I do not know how often this happens. Actually, it does not matter, because I can assure you that this happens somewhere, someplace. It might not be as common, and again, it is again with that measuring. Oh, but we do it a little less. Doesn't matter. Again, we do not watch other people's plates. It is fasting 101. That's it. And again, do not call out when you see faulty practices during Ramadan. It's okay if you want to criticize something from theological perspective and so on. That's fine. But bear in mind that, again, we do not follow other people's plates. Ramadan is essentially a Christian practice, and if we kept fasting the way Muslims fast, we will find very often that we will try to trick God in that same way as well. That a lot of people of any religion, simply go through the motions, that we are all trying to trick God. As Christians, and as Orthodox Christians do it as well, maybe not as much, but still, it is a call for us to be better, not to judge and condemn others. Bye.